everybody, this is Yukiko. I am shooting this video from New York City. I not that I know much about it, but I am kind of mindful of me sensing something very unknown that seems to be from my own country, mother country, that's Japan. So being responsible for that subjective feeling, I'm shooting this video so that anybody who needs my insight can get that, because I really believe in informed decisions that work better than decisions without knowing anything about the resources given. So and I am planning to share this video in Japanese as well, so that my fellow Japanese friends can watch me and understand what I'm talking about. First of all, what was it? I was going to explain why certain things that Japan is so excited, or certain Japanese people that I am sensing the existence of might be so excited about. It's something that you should never worry about at all. Whether it's the reason why it's so easy to ignore does not refer to, just has nothing to do with how significant they are as a country or as people in general. It doesn't say anything about what the value they have as people or personals. You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, Japanese people are doing this in New York City. Doesn't really mean that you have to worry about it, or it doesn't seem like something that you have to pay attention to. That doesn't necessarily mean that per se has no value to elsewhere, to the world. It's just at this timing, in this place, with that expression, it means nothing, so it's ignorable. I say it because I feel like there are certain people who get heartbroken aftermath of them taking huge paying serious attention to what Japanese people are doing, just through the pure judgment about the whole thing, purely based on the country, Japanese, and its reputation, and thinking that what Japanese people are here, well, wow, like it's like miles and miles away, they're here, so we should take care of them, and they're doing this. Okay, we understand that. Welcome to New York, right? So that's something that I want to pour my deeper insight about. Welcome to New York. Welcome to America. This is America. Does not mean much. Does not mean that you're so deeply heartwarmingly welcomed, like your fellow Japanese would do to you when you visit some other places in Japan. At all. American people are used to welcoming. It's like Chinese people are used to welcoming as well. They're used to unknowns. That perspective has to be spotlighted, because they're both American people as well as Chinese people, Australian or Canadian people. They like to kind of take in the unknown first, and then play with them or spend time with them and build their own experiences around them. It's way different from the attitudes the Japanese people have. And the Japanese people, as well as some European people, for example, some people from, maybe French, Spanish or Italian people, British people, they do not have that of a deep resilience towards somebody unknown, presenting something unknown, that I think that tends to irritate them, and they usually sort of like snap them off just for the fact that that's just not proven in the international standard, and that's very unknown to them. Like, they don't need to know them, then they don't want them. That's something that's called the attitude to uncertainty. So whatever that's uncertain to them, hit them with the concept of uncertainty in them, in their mind, in their mindset. So they would react with their attitudes to anything unknown. It doesn't mean that you're someone that should be excluded. It just means that they don't know you well. Therefore, they don't like that. They don't like you existing there as if it's something that's extremely valuable to them. They don't know that first. So they have the certain attitudes. And the Japanese people, as a matter of fact, do have the similar tendency to what's called unknown or uncertainty. They're very exclusive. They do not like people from, or they do not like something introduced to them in a very vague way. They want to know what they're dealing with first, and then they want to put their hands on. And that specific attitude is something that Japan has. Japan can be familiar to European countries with, and because of that, I am fearing that when Japanese people experimentally do something to people in the United States, they might feel excessively about their own idea to be accepted in the way that they would understand it unrealistically. I mean, they might misunderstand the result of it just because of the cultural gap. And the cultural gap is very important day-to-day basis. You're seeing things through your eyes with your own brain that has grown with yourself and the places that you've been and people that you've been with and stuff like that. It's very rare that you can catch the gaps and differences between where you come from and where the other party comes from, and understand there and take that into consideration so that you do not see the feedback or reactions as they are. I mean, that's impossible. You would meet them and you would say something and the response comes back to you, and then you would take it as it is, and that's what humans do. But wait a minute, that's not what should be done. What should be done here, if a Japanese people experimentally does in the United States and that seems to be half accepted, that's normal. Because the United States of America is the United States of America. They're a more pioneering mindset, and they like to, same as Canada, Australia, or China, they like to sort of like let in or take in the newcomers or unknowns. They just welcome first. They just welcome anything first, and then they build their own experiences around them. And then that they enjoy learning new things, as opposed to Japanese people who likes to snap off everybody who they don't know very well about. So, to be very specific, don't think that you're very, very wonderfully taken the moment that you're accepted by the people in New York or people in the United States. It doesn't really mean that. It doesn't really mean, it's not like how Japanese people would take whatever that's alien to them, whatever that's foreign to them. They're used to taking foreign stuff, like foreign people, foreign cultures, and that they enjoy playing with them, experimenting with them. But a very core Japanese characteristics do not have that in their focus. I'm not saying that they cannot do that. They would probably be able to understand the difference and probably be that if they allow themselves to transform that way. But that's not really necessary from culture standpoint, as well as where the country has to go to. I think it's inevitable that the Japanese people have to realize that they're very exclusive and very unlikely that they would behave like the people in the United States to whatever they're foreign to. And the American people doing that to them, although, does not mean that they're being welcomed in the way that they would imagine from with their own attitudes to something foreign to them. I hope this is understandable. Thank you very much. Goodbye.